Good evening, everyone. I'm Bernard, and tonight I'm going to discuss about the classification of topography or terrain and the cross-section of typical highway. Terrain classification is an important preliminary step in selecting values for highway geometrics. But how the terrain is classified? The terrain is classified by the general slope of the country or an area across the highway alignment. So the classification of terrain pertain to the general character of a specific area. While classifying a terrain, short isolated stretches of varying terrain should not be taken into consideration. There are three classifications of terrain, and these are leveling terrain, rolling terrain, and mountainous terrain. The level terrain. Leveling terrain are generally long or can be designed to be so without construction difficulties or major expense. Um, For the word itself, level terrain is just plain or flat area. Constructing a road in level terrain is not costly and difficult because we don't need to cut and fill a certain area. The slope in leveling terrain is considered to range from 0% to 8%. Next, we have rolling terrain. Rolling terrain refers to the land with lots of gentle ups and downs without steep slopes or jagged irregular features. So a rolling terrain is an area of mostly flat land with some gentle and undulating slopes. Undulating means shaped like or moving like a wave, smoothly up and down or back and forth. The slope in this terrain is considered to range from 8.1% to 15%. And lastly, the mountainous terrain. Mountainous terrain is rugged, hilly, and mountainous with substantial restrictions in both horizontal and vertical alignment. Unlike in leveling terrain, constructing a road in a mountainous terrain is costly because benching and side hill excavation is frequently needed to obtain acceptable horizontal and vertical alignment. The slope in mountainous terrain is considered to range over 15%. The cross-section of typical highway. The cross-section of typical highway has latitude of variables to consider, such as the volume of traffic, the character of traffic, speed of the traffic, characteristics of motor and vehicles, and of the driver. So before constructing a typical highway, it is very important to consider these four latitude of variables so that we will determine if how many road lanes or what kind of typical highway is needed to construct in a particular area. In general, cross-section design also offers the expected level of service for safety. And these are the typical highway cross-section. The two-lane rural highways. The two-lane rural highways is a 7.20 meters wide surface is required for safe clearance between commercial vehicles and recommended for main highways. So we usually see this typical highway in main highways like highway going to Carmen to Tagum. And it has only one lane in each direction and usually no median barrier. It may be built that way because of constraint or maybe intended for expansion once traffic volume arise. Next is collector roadway. The collector roadway is a 6 meters wide surface is acceptable only for low volume traffic. The collector roadways is also low to moderate capacity road which serves to move traffic from local streets to arterial roads. So basically, this typical highway is designed to collect or accept vehicles coming from arterial roads and provide access to residential properties and less mobility than arterials at lower speeds and for shorter distances. Next is local roadway. The minimum surface width in local roadway is 4.80 meters for a 30 km per hour design speed. The local roadway accepting traffic from collector roadways and distribute traffic through subdivisions. So this typical highway characterized by short roadway distances, slow speeds, and low volumes. It also offers a high level of accessibility, serves passenger cars, pedestrians, and bicycles, but not through trucks. Next is urban roadway. The minimum design width of urban roadway is 3.60 meters, although 3 meters is allowed where space is limited. The characteristics of this typical highway is that it can accommodate high volume traffic with many hazards and multiple intersections with left and right turns. I guess that would be all, and thank you for listening.